Welcome back. So now we should have fixed all errors and we should be ready to deploy in this version right here, 0.50. So I've run an ng build prod just to make sure everything's running. And that's of course still from this page that this guy built. And now the prod is up and running, and it seems we've put some files into the dist folder. So what did we actually put in there? Let's have a look at that before we continue. So if you expand the dist folder up here, you'll notice that I have a lot of different files here that I've now bundled. So all the files here, so the font awesome files is because we have some font awesome stuff in there. This guy is the icon you see in the corner. So when we open the application, you'll see this icon right here. You can change that to your own icon if you want to, okay? So that's just the icon we want to show. Then we have the index page, which is pretty much your page that will be loaded. And all of these are all the different files that we make available, right? Now the vendor file in here is actually the files with the third part components. The CS file is with our CSS files, and the polyfills is files for pages that do not support the newest standards of what we're building for older browsers, right? And then we have the main guy right here. Let's try and open it. This is actually the code that it compiles. Totally unreadable, but this can be read by a browser, okay? So we don't have to understand it. This can be read by a browser. And that's pretty much all it's doing. It's just creating files that are very small, as compact as possible, that we can now deploy on a browser. So this folder is now ready. What to do next? We go down and it says, so now that we have the dist folder ready, let's go and actually create our application on Firebase. So we already created a project on Firebase. We did that earlier. That should already be available. What we need to do next is actually run an npm command to install all the Firebase tools. Let's do that. Install Firebase tools. Mine are already installed, so I'll just let that run in the background. And next we need to try and log into Firebase actually. So let's try and see this is up and running now. Firebase tools have been installed. And next I'll just do the Firebase login here. It asks, I'm already logged in, but it should just pop up and ask you for your email and your password for Firebase. So I'm logged in now. Great. Now it pops up and says the next thing we need to do is do a Firebase init to actually initialize our local project to be able to deploy to Firebase. So now we're going to do a Firebase init, and I run this command right here. I just remove these two because I don't want to create a database of functions up there. I already have everything ready. I just want to host this application up there. So I'll only pick hosting, and I want to host mine on the CP2 REST, which is my current project up there. And do you want to make this inside the public directory? No, that's very important. When you read onward here, he says you need to select dist folder if it asks where you want to put this, where your source code is available. And since our source code is actually available here and not in the public folder, we need to put in dist instead of public down here. So dist. Do you want to make this a single page application? Yes, Angular 2 is single page application. So instead of the default no, I'll do a yes here. And do you want to override the already existing index inside the dist folder, this guy right here? No, because that's also very Angular specific. We don't want to override that with a default thing here. So I'll just do the same thing here. I'll say no. And now it says you're ready to actually deploy this. Nice. So let's scroll down and see what else he wants to tell us. He says when you've done all of this, you pretty much just have to run Firebase deploy and you're done. Okay, Firebase deploy, enter. So it says it's deploying a few files and it uploads some files successfully. Now we should be able to go to this location right here. Let's try and do that and go to and see if our Firebase works. I can actually also go into hosting and select it right here. Let's just do that and see if it runs. So it's actually in here at least. The newest thing I did was the profile. Let's see if that is available. And we got a profile, even a sliding profile with animations. Yee-hee! So we're online. Again, go and read this deployment a few times. Ask me any questions in the comment. But now we're actually live deployed. See you next time.